Good morning, Stan Phelps here, having a little coffee, getting ready for my inaugural bed talk. That's good. If you're not familiar with what bed talks are, my amazing Pink Goldfish co-author, David Rendall, decided about 2 days ago that, hey, we're speakers, we're not traveling right now. We've got time to kind of share, and he decided to do a bed talk. And the bed talk's pretty simple. I'll give you some of the guidelines. Here's the deal. If you're going to do a bed talk, he says no prep necessary. You got to do it in your bed. That seems self-explanatory. You got to keep it short, less than 5 minutes. Got to make it fun. No selling. Be helpful. I love it. Here's a few. I love this. Jeff Nishwitz, fellow speaker yesterday, did one called Seeing is Deceiving. That was really cool. Marcy Rader, if you can see Marcy there, did one called What is a Good Day? And they're just kind of all flooding in. So here's Wendy. Wendy talks about get going and keep going. That's really cool. And there's been a ton of them. Hank Hoffmeyer, who's fellow Prism member here in the Triangle, did the very first, well, I should say the second. He was the first person to do a bed talk. So let me share mine. And for mine, I want to take us all the way back to the 1840s when in Paris there was a boy who was born. And his father was Italian, his mother was French. The family had fled Italy because of political persecution. And this boy grew up in Paris till he was 10. And then right around 1860, his family went back to Italy, and he would grow up in Italy to become an educator, a scientist, a philosopher, and more importantly, probably the first economist to ever use data in terms of his work. Economics at the time was really more of a social science. Adam Smith and others. Anyhow, he's pretty prominent in his time. And at age 59, this is around the early 1900s, he makes a discovery in, of all places, his vegetable garden. This is what he does. He's walking around his garden. He's picking stuff for his meal that evening. And he stops in front of his pea plant. And for some reason or other, he's looking at the entire pea plant, and he gets a bug up his butt. And he decides to take each and every pod off the plant. And then he very meticulously opens up each of the pods and separates all of the peas. And this is what he finds. He finds that 80% of the peas are in just 20% of the pods. Now, he kind of thinks that's kind of interesting. A few years later, he's studying land ownership in all of Italy. And what does he find? He finds this. 20% of the people own what? 80% of the land. Now, he passes away right around 1918, which was the year of the Spanish flu. He passes away. No one picks up on his research and his findings for 20 years. It wasn't till 1939 when Joseph Duran, an American, was working for the Lend-Lease administration. And that was something that FDR had constructed to allow America to send shipments to England to help them fight in World War II. And Duran was this very much into quality and he ends up being the father of Six Sigma. Anyway, he realizes when he's studying defects with these shipments that 80% of the defects come down to just 20% of the causes. Now, Duran he thinks that's interesting. He comes across that scientist and economist that we talked about originally, whose name is Vilfredo Pareto. And it's Duran that actually coins what we all know today as the 80-20 rule. And what's crazy about Duran went much further. He just didn't stop with the shipments. He started to look at nature. He started to look at business and economics. And what he found, which is amazing, throughout almost everything in life, that 80-20 principle rules. And what I love and what gets missed with the 80-20 rule is that Duran created his own law, which I think is so applicable to the situation that we're dealing with today. And Duran called it the law of the vital few and the trivial many. The law of the vital few and the trivial many. And I think the takeaway is somewhat clear. Apply that to your life. I mean, there's so much we could be worrying about right now with all of the chaos that we're ensuing. But really boil it down. Who are your vital few? Spend 80% of your time with the 20% of clients that really matter to you. Spend time with your family. And really, this is an unprecedented opportunity to either provide value for our customers. How can we help them, especially our vital few in this time? Or how can we take opportunities with our own family to spend time that we would never during our busy lives have the opportunity to do? So create new things, try to add value for your best customers. And I hope you enjoyed my inaugural Bed Talk. I challenge you, if you're a speaker, a thought leader, even if you just get a bug and you want to share something, hashtag Bed Talk, create your own, and I look forward to seeing them.